Hello, welcome back to Statman Dave Clips. Today we're going to be looking at Gareth Southgate's secret weapon, Kalvin Phillips. Make sure, of course, to subscribe if you are new to the channel. Smash that like button. Of course, we are live every single day through the European Championships at 11 a.m. Monday to Friday. Anyway, let's dive in. So Kalvin Phillips, obviously for Leeds United, does play defensive midfield. He's a player that likes to get on the ball. He's a player that does really dictate the play for Leeds. The thing that I love about Phillips in terms of his, his performances in the Premier League this season, his ability to not only win 1v1 duels, he's so dominant in that arena. A massive part of Leeds United's defence against Man United, for example. 8 out of his 9 tackles won, 3 clearances, 1 block shot, 1 interception. But it's his use of the ball as well, absolutely superb. Loves finding the flanks, but very much, as you see on the heat map there, a defensive midfielder. Coined the Yorkshire Pirlo. In terms of his ability to break up play, but hit switches out to either flank in order to create 1v1s, which is massive to Bielsa's system. And I think the big thing with Bielsa, in terms of looking at him as a manager, and he likes Phillips. Phillips is a player that is quite a quiet lad, quite grounded, but I tell you what, can really improve. And I think the big thing that we chat about Kalvin Phillips in terms of the interview after the game against Croatia, he spoke about the role and he said that he actually really enjoys it. He enjoys having a little bit more freedom in an attacking sense. Kalvin Phillips, before Bielsa came to Leeds United, was a box-to-box midfielder. Bielsa very much turned him into that number 6 at holding midfield. But, of course, the big part of his game that he does well, win the ball back, win 1v1 duels. He's very dominant in those situations. Gareth Southgate's using him slightly differently. So Gareth Southgate, of course, in terms of England, tactically, against Croatia, setting them up 4-3-3. The interesting side for me was the use of both Walker and Trippier as fullbacks. So instead of them playing as fullbacks, they played as inverted fullbacks in a sense of both of them kind of came inside, a little bit more narrow, and they were getting on the ball in these central areas. What this meant for England, it gave freedom to the attacking 5 in a sense of, obviously, Sterling started off wide left, Foden started wide right, Kane started through the middle, Mason Mount usually took a high position. What we saw with Phillips in possession is he'd get involved in these deep areas, but then he'd move into attacking midfield, and he'd basically become like a free 8, like a Mazzala. And that's what he was talking about in terms of free role and so forth. And from that position, Kalvin Phillips, that kind of box-to-box nature in a sense of getting involved in a build-up, then moving into that inside position, because of his coaching under Marcelo Bielsa, can easily play that role and did it so well against Croatia, and really is Bielsa's key weapon. And I think the goal came from a really good move from the system in a sense of, not only having a bit of inverted play from Kieran Trippier, getting Sterling involved deep in the play, and then the ball moving back through midfield, through Declan Rice to Walker in a position. But what it made from the ship, we saw a lot of movement where at that point in the game, I think Kramaric had gone off for a Bekalo. I think that was the move that had happened at that point. Let me double check. No, I don't think anything had happened at that point. Apologies. Kramaric was still on. Basically, what we saw from this position, we saw Perisic close the ball a little bit, and it kind of opened up that pass into the lines to allow Phillips to be in that space. From Sterling being involved deep, he made that move forward, across the line. Kane had moved as well, which opened up that little bit of space from that Mazzala position to play the pass through to allow Sterling to finish, and what a goal that was. But I really feel this is going to become a secret weapon in a sense, and I think Kalvin Phillips is perfect for this role because he understands time and space. Obviously, working under Marcelo Bielsa, he knows the role in a sense. Like, he'll know how to play 6, 8, wide left, fullback, centre-back. He plays as a third centre-back at times when Leeds play against 2 strikers, being that free man. But what this will give England especially is a lot of rotation and positions where we'll see Mount going wide, Sterling making the inside run. We'll see Mount making the run, Sterling holding himself wide. Honestly, this would have been my setup for England. I would have set England up in this way. I probably would have played Luke Shaw in this inverted position, because we know that Luke Shaw can play that inverted position. But it means that Phillips gets a real free role, and Mason Mount gets a free role, and the 2 attackers and Harry Kane. And it's that free role that you look at someone like Kalvin Phillips, who has the technical ability, but also the vision, the close control, and the aggression to play it perfectly. We could see that in the statistics, in a sense. Kalvin Phillips in the first half as well completed 100% of his passes. In fact, when he got the assist, of course the assist for Sterling, he'd got more assists than he'd failed passes. He finished the game completing 100% of his long balls, created that one chance as we mentioned before, made 7 ball recoveries, completed 2 out of 2 of his dribbles, assisted the decisive goal, but also covered more ground than any other player on the pitch. And I think that's one thing that we look at absolutely everywhere. Is that kind of dual role in the sense that he's not only involved in the play in the final third, but very much gets involved in the build-up. So it creates a little bit of an overload in this situation where you've got this kind of narrow 6 shape, the 2 fullbacks kind of looking inside. Obviously, Walker plays that role for City really well. Trippier's inverted, left-footed, but it allows them to build really well. And then they can play through. If there's pressure in midfield, they've still got, options to rotate the ball around. Of course, Croatia pressing maybe with the 4 midfielders and the striker, creating a 6v5, in that sense to play through. Then as soon as the ball's been moved into the final third, Phillips is moving into that number 8 position, that attacking Mazzala position, and it's really, really good in that sense. And it means that England have got, a player that really can dominate. And as much as Henderson does a really good job when he plays for England, I think Phillips has got to start every game in this role. I think this role really works for him. I thought he'd be better playing as a single pivot instead of a Declan Rice, playing one or the other in certain games. But I feel, his maturity and his tactical intelligence means that he can play this sort of inside right position perfectly well. And when you get an assist that leads to the winner, you've got a real quality there. And I think that shows how well he is. And not only could he play as a deep line midfielder, he can play as a bit of a regista as he does for Leeds United, but also as this Mazzala. I think it shows how good a player he is. And I tell you what, Premier League teams will come calling. They will come and calling. Kalvin Phillips is a player that could play for Man City, that could play for Liverpool, that could play for Manchester United, and is doing so well at Leeds and has adapted his game for Gareth Southgate. Of course, what we're sort of talking about in terms of systems, the slightly inverted fullbacks, the wing play from Foden, from Sterling, the Mason Mount attacking midfield in this sense, and Phillips playing this kind of deep line role, getting involved in the build-up, defending as well, really well. Obviously, England kind of dropped back to a 4-5-1 in a defensive sense, and we all know how good Kalvin Phillips is pressing and being aggressive, having played under Bielsa. Surely, Southgate's secret weapon for the tournament. Lovely, lovely stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Get into the comments below. Is Kalvin Phillips the man to lift the European Championships with England? Is he going to bring it home? Get into the comments below. Of course, subscribe if you're new. Find us on Twitch and smash that like button. See you later.